Sure, two players, although you don't like to talk about individuality, but you have worked with them. Two players, two World Cup winners this time, Sanju Samson and Vaibhav Suryavanshi. Sanju Samson's career, there have been...
Sorry, I forgot that crazy bit. Like, I would have loved to see why India won because of the 18-month, no, not all, 18-month window they had. What all did Gautam do? What all did Surya Kumar and Gautam come together and do? I would have loved to see the intriguing pieces. But I ended up seeing things like, okay, at the end of, Sanju is a very dear friend. But I saw pieces on social media about how he came back to practice 3 days later after a World Cup win. Hello, we are cricketers. I don't want to see pieces like that. And then I'm seeing pieces about how somebody, Shivam Dubey traveled by train, right? I don't want to read pieces like that. Why? I have traveled by train. Everybody's traveled by train.
What's the big deal of traveling by train?
Exactly.
Damn it, whole country travels by train.
I would love for us to go over the next decade for international cricketers to be able to go to the chai wala dukan and have chai with the people here. In fact, we've forgotten that life's joys are in very small moments.
We are assuming that Shivam Dubey or X or Y, not Shivam Dubey per se, can't travel by train because there is a certain difference in class. Come on.
Look, let me take it further, right? We've revamped the rail system in India.
So it's
amazing,
player,
right?
The hockey player can travel by train, a tennis player can travel by train, a
footballer
can travel, not a cricketer.
You've forgotten. The rail system has come to a place where it's quite amazing. My family travels by train every time to Bangalore. In fact, I wore a mask and came back from Dindigul in the TNPL. Nobody bothered me. Why should anybody think that it is a hassle to travel by train such that it becomes a big issue? The rail system has been revamped so well by our government that we must be happy. Tomorrow, there is, and I'm so happy Sanju trained 3 days after practice, because 3 days after the World Cup win, because it's showing another youngster that after my World Cup win, I shouldn't be sitting on my haunches. Great. And that must just be an example for people to watch and learn. Yeah? But when we start doing intriguing pieces on that, I'm a little concerned. What message are we passing on to the next generation?
I'll send you a couple of links of how Abhishek Sharma, took a leaf out of David Miller's book and cracked his first half century in the T20.
I haven't read, sorry.
I'll definitely send you that link. But I was talking about Sanju Samson. there has been a tag associated with him throughout his career. That is inconsistent. He starts well, but his form step. And he was talking about it in the press conference as well after he scored 3 80s on the trot. That, I wanted to shed that thought. I wanted to shed that tag. I have that, belief within me that, I can do it. I can do it, although there are doubts. Sanju Samson, the character, when he does well, or when he goes through that slump, because you have seen in close quarters. And also about Vaibhav Suryavanshi, the next gen talents that are coming in right now and the way they are taking the world by storm.
Look, the way they played the final of the Under-19 World Cup was a huge message for all of us watching the sport as to what we can expect from the next generation. They are not going to defend and play through tough phases. They are going to just go smack bang. And the problem with going smack bang is one that we can't afford to watch it from a tentative perspective. That we can't do. But the beauty of playing like that is it throws the opposition so far back that it's very, very tough to match up with that sort of brutal hitting and pressure-free cricket. If you looked at how England chased it, that was no different. So we are seeing a white ball landscape that's completely new. And we have to come to terms with the fact that this is how these kids are going to play, and we have to go wow over it. Rather than saying, okay, this is not how we played. And that was very refreshing to watch, be it him, be it Ayush Matre, be it whoever it is. It's so refreshing to watch. And I had no doubts in my mind over the last decade that T20 cricket had to be played this way. And I'm so happy that India is playing T20 cricket like this. In India, it's often at 49 or 45, you're supposed to take 5 singles. If you didn't, your coach is going to tell you, "Arey kya kiya, 50 chhod diya." And when Sanju Samson is getting out on 89, 97 or 93, I'm so happy. I'm so happy he's not taking that bunt to mid-wicket and point to get to his 100. And he made no bones of it to come out and say, I will keep taking those risks. Why is he taking those risks? Let's understand that. Because that one risk that he's not taken could well be the difference between you being in a final and not being in a final. He could have got to 100. He was 89 in the semi-final against England. But he ended up taking chances. It's one hit, and England lost by one hit. Let's not forget that. And we have to, in some way or the other, realize that T20 is answer for football. your defenders will not get the front page because they don't score. Your bowlers will not get the front page because they're defending. And Bumrah's defensive 17th over was spoken about because he is Bumrah. But nobody spoke about Hardik's 19th over. The first ball goes for a 6 and Hardik nailed 5 Yorkers after that. That's incredible. Because Hardik, you always remembered him and stonking those balls for 6s, right? But you can't seem to find the fascination in him coming back from that 6 to bowl those 5 balls. Tough. A batter is batting on 90. He's nailed you for a 6 and that didn't miss by much. But he's had it in him to nail those 5 Yorkers, which is amazing. So I would love for these things to be spoken about. Like you said about Sanju, self-doubts are created by people on the outside.